morning. Hi, everybody. I'm going to give it a little bit of time for people to join, so just sit tight. Hi, everyone who's joining. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to give it a little bit for people to join. So hang in there. Hello to everyone who's joining. There are so many of you. That's so cool. A little bit more time. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Hi, everybody. Good morning and happy Earth Day. My name is Monica and I work for California State Park. We here at California State Parks hope that you're doing well, staying safe, staying healthy, and we want to thank you for doing your part to help flatten the curve of COVID-19 by making sure that you're staying home as often as you can and washing your hands. And if you do choose to visit your local outdoor spaces, that you're keeping in mind that 6-foot social and physical distancing, and that you're meeting groups and visiting parking lots. If you are choosing to stay at home or you're unable to go outdoors, that's totally okay because that's why we're here. We're here to bring the parks to you in your very own home. So we have these home learning programs available every Monday through Friday from the morning all the way to the afternoon. With each hour, it's going to be a different topic for a different grade level. They're free. You can register for however many you want, and you're bound to find something you like. I want to say a special hello to all my 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders who are watching. Hi, thank you so much for joining today. All you're going to need for today's program is just a piece of paper and something to write with, and even some colors or markers or things like that. So if you don't have those already, go ahead and grab a piece of paper, grab a pencil, grab some colors. I'm going to invite you to join me in an art project at the end of the program, so keep that in mind. And I want you to use that paper for however you'd like to. So if you have any questions, anything that stands out to you, if you want to draw something about what we learned today, you can use that paper for that. We don't have the chat feature available today, so you won't be able to ask any questions or type them in, but we do still want to hear from you. So if there's anything that you're dying to know, write it down and you can share it with us at the end of the program, and I'll tell you how you can do that. Also, there is a button on your screen that I want you to become a little familiar with, and I noticed that some of you have already found it. So at the bottom of your screen, there should be a button that says raise hand, and I want to use that today because I might ask you some questions and I want to know your answers. So let's just see, can everyone try the raise hand button, and I can see who's got their hand raised just to make sure that we've all found it. Awesome. I see Phoebe has raised her hand, Abigail, Janet, Joseph, Arlen, Ethan. Awesome. Lots and lots of people have raised their hand. Great. I'm so happy you found it. So keep that in mind today. We're going to use that. You can go ahead and click the lower hand button so your hands go down. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining today. Again, my name is Monica and I work for California State Parks. And I work at a place, one of my favorite places in the world, called Hearst Simeon State Park. We've got some really cool things to share with you today about Hearst Simeon State Park. I'm going to show you on a map where exactly that is. If you've never heard of it before, I will show you where in California I am. So on your screen, you should be seeing a map of California. And Hearst Simeon State Park is located right about here. So we are on the west coast. We are along the Pacific Ocean. So we've got beautiful, beautiful beaches here. And we're about halfway between the big cities of San Francisco and Los Angeles. So this is right where I am right here. Maybe you've been here before. Maybe one day you can visit. But that is where Hearst Simeon State Park is. All right. So today we're going to talk about one of my favorite things about Hearst State Park. One of my favorite things is the animals that we see here. Raise your hand if you like animals. Raise your hand if you like animals. Lots of people like animals. Who doesn't like animals, right? So many of you. Awesome. You can go ahead and lower your hand. Well, one of my favorite animals here at Hearst Simeon State Park is something called an elephant seal. An elephant seal. Oh my gosh, that sounds so interesting. How many of you have heard of an elephant seal before? Or maybe even seen one? Go ahead and raise your hand if you've seen or heard of an elephant seal. Wow, so many of you. Preston has. Wow, Paul, Lila, Gabriella, Gus, Asher. Wow, lots of you have seen an elephant seal before. Awesome. Go ahead and lower your hand. Now, if you've never seen an elephant seal before, I'm super excited because today you're going to get to see one. And you get to see what I see out here on the beach. I'm going to flip the camera around in a little bit to show you. Now, I want to invite all of you to actually imagine in your head what an elephant seal might look like. So if you have seen one before, go ahead and picture it in your head, recreate that animal. And if you've never seen one before, think about its name, elephant seal, and what you think an animal with the name elephant seal might look like. And I actually want to invite you all to close your eyes while we do this. So let's go ahead and close our eyes, and we're going to take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth. So let's do that together. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Go ahead and keep your eyes closed, and I want you to keep picturing that elephant seal in your head. Keep your eyes closed, and I'll let you know when you can open them. So go ahead and imagine that elephant seal. Keep imagining your elephant seal. All right, now go ahead and open your eyes. Check this out. Look at all these. These are all elephant seals. They're all on the beach here. Super, super cool. We're going to learn all about these animals today. They're really, really fascinating. They're super interesting. So thanks so much for joining us today at Hearst Simeon State Park to learn about the elephant seals. Okay, so the elephant seal is something called a marine mammal. Go ahead and raise your hand if you know what a marine mammal is. Wow, lots of you know what a marine mammal is. Yep, I bet a lot of you have heard of one before. Dia has, Amber has, Josh, Larkin, Annabelle. Lots of you know what marine mammals are. That's great. You can go ahead and lower your hand now. So the elephant seal is a type of marine mammal, which means that it lives, it's a mammal that spends a lot of time in the ocean. Now you're probably wondering, wait a second, if an elephant seal is a marine mammal, how come they're on land? Well, that's a really good question, and that's kind of tricky because elephant seals spend time in both the land, on land and in the water. We're going to learn about why they do that today. But first, I want to give you an idea of just how big these elephant seals are, because it might be kind of hard to tell just by looking at this screen. So I want you to picture in your head how tall you are in feet. Think about how tall you are. For me, I'm about 5 feet and 2 inches tall. I'm going to think of that. I'm going to keep that height in my head. All right, you got your height? Okay, an elephant seal, a male elephant seal, reach length of 16 feet long. 16 feet long. That's at least 3 of me. Wow, that's huge, massive. And that male elephant seal can weigh up to 5,000 pounds. 5,000 pounds. That's about the weight of a large car. Pretty amazing. What about a female elephant seal? A female elephant seal isn't as big, but it's still very big, and very big and heavy. So female elephant seal is about 10 to 12 feet long. 10 to 12 feet long. So that's about 2 of me, at least 2. She's not as heavy. She's just under 2,000 pounds, but still massive, almost 2 tons. So now you have a little better idea of how big these elephant seals are. And actually, the ones that you see on screen here, some of them haven't even reached those lengths yet. A lot of these might be younger elephant seals who aren't fully grown. Wow, okay. So Now we talk about how the elephant seal spends some time in the water and some time on land. So most of the time, they are in the water. So about 8 to 10 months out of the year, the elephant seals live in the ocean. They're swimming, they're diving, they're looking for food. They're there most of the time. But twice a year, for short periods of time, they come to land, like you see here. And they come to land for a few very special reasons. But I kind of like to think of it like the beach, the land is the elephant seal's vacation home. So the elephant seal's permanent home, where they spend most of the time, is in the ocean. But when it's time for them to take a vacation, when it's time for them to relax and rest, they will come to the beach. And we're going to talk about those things today. We're going to talk about the elephant seal's adaptations. We're going to talk about its life cycle, and we're going to talk about how humans can have an effect on them. So let's start off with some adaptations. Now raise your hand if you know what an adaptation is. I bet a lot of you can think of what it means to have an adaptation. Yep, lots and lots of you are raising your hand. That's awesome. I see Ricardo has raised his hand, and Mason and Monica. Oh, we have the same name. Cool. Dev, Zymina, awesome. All right, so if you're thinking, if you know what an adaptation is, you might be thinking that it's a change that happens to an animal's body over time. Yeah, that's something. It could be something that an animal has or does to help it survive. Yeah, those are all adaptations. So an elephant seal has adaptations. It has some physical adaptations, so parts of its body, and it also has some behavioral adaptations, some things that it does that all help it survive and make it very, very special. And if you still have your hand raised, you can go ahead and lower your hand. Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about some of the adaptations that an elephant seal has. We're going to start with a male elephant seal. So I'm going to pull up a photo of a male elephant seal, and I just want you to take a good look at this guy, and whoa, let's see. This is the male elephant seal. Check that out. I bet the first thing that you notice about this male elephant seal was its giant nose. Yep, and I bet you can picture, or you can imagine why it's called an elephant seal, because it's got a giant nose that looks like an elephant's trunk. That's how it got its name. And this nose is actually really important for male elephants. Only the males have it, so the females don't. But this nose serves a very special purpose. So for male elephants, all that they care about, their biggest goal in life is just to prove how big and strong they are. That's it. That's all they care about. They want to be the biggest and the strongest elephant seal. And believe it or not, the nose actually can help them do this. It helps prove how strong they are. So maybe if you were with your friends and you were trying to show each other how strong you were, you might flex your muscles, show each other your huge arms. Well, these elephant seals would flex their noses. Yeah, they flex their noses, real big. They can reach lengths of 2 feet long. 2 feet long. So that's one way these male elephant seals might show how big and strong they are. I'm going to pull up another photo here, and I want you to put on your scientist hats, and I want you to make some observations about this photo. Here we have 2 male elephant seals, and I want you to take a second, talk to someone next to you. What are some things that you notice about this photo? It could be something that they're doing, or what they look like, parts of their body, colors or textures. So I'll give you a second. Talk to someone next to you about what you see in this photo. All right. And if you're listening really closely, you might be hearing that. Okay, so some observations about this photo. Maybe you noticed that they're in the water. Yeah, there's water in the background. They're not in the water. They're actually on shore, but the waves are kind of crashing behind them, so they are on land. Maybe you said, whoa, it looks like they're talking. It looks like they're fighting. Yeah, these 2 male elephant seals are fighting. And when a male elephant seal fights, it's called sparring. It's called All right, male elephant seals fight. And this is, they fight with each other to show how big they are. Now, you might also have noticed some other parts of their bodies here, like maybe this area on both of their bodies. That's the part too. So these male elephant seals do fight with each other. And when they do, they kind of bash their heads into each other's bodies. Pretty rough, pretty aggressive. You can see they've got these large teeth. Now, if they fight all the time and their teeth are scratching each other, they probably need some kind of protection, right? Because that probably hurts. Well, this part here, this part that we circled, that is a protective layer on the elephant seal's body. And it's something called a chest shield. A chest shield. And when you think about what a shield does, it protects, right? So this elephant seal has a chest shield, this hard protective layer on its body that helps protect the rest of its body during these fights. And this chest shield is really hard. So if you want to know how hard it is, go ahead and take your finger and tap on your fingernail. Just tap on your fingernail. The elephant seal, the chest shield is made out of the same stuff as our fingernail, something called keratin. So our fingernail and the elephant seal's chest shield is about the same. It's that hard protective layer, and it builds up and it gets stronger and larger the more fights that an elephant seal gets into, and the older it gets. I kind of like to think of the chest shield like a callus. How we might get a callus. Maybe we'll get a callus on our hands from using the monkey bars, or we'll get a callus on our feet from going barefoot outside, so your skin starts to get harder. That's what's happening with these elephant shields, chest shields. They get harder and they get stronger, more fights. Now you're probably wondering, wait a second, why do male elephant seals fight in the first place? Why do they care who's the biggest and the strongest? Good question. Well, the male elephant seals fight. I bet you might be able to guess. They fight to get a female. They fight to mate. So whoever wins this elephant seal sparring battle, they will get to mate with females on the beach. In fact, the winner of this fight will get to mate with 30 to 50 females. So he has so many girlfriends all at once. So that is why they fight. They fight so that they get to be with the females. And whoever doesn't win the fight doesn't get to mate with the females. So they fight a lot just to show who the biggest and the strongest is. All right. So those are some adaptations that we see on a male. But what about some adaptations that we see on both males and females? Well, let's talk about something called blubber. Raise your hand if you've heard of blubber before. You've heard of blubber. Yep, lots and lots of you are raising your hand. Great. Emerson has raised his hand. Ivan, Nadia, Ben. Great. Well, if you've heard of blubber, you go ahead and lower your hand. Thank you. Blubber is just fat, right? Blubber is that thick layer of fat that's all over the elephant seal's bodies. And a lot of marine mammals have this layer of fat, and it helps to keep them warm in the ocean. The ocean's pretty cold, so they need that protective layer, that thick layer of fat to help keep them warm. It's especially important for these elephant seals because they dive very, very deep. And the deeper that you go into the ocean, the colder it gets. So they really need that thick layer of blubber to help keep them warm. They're exploring the deep sea. So that they build up their blubber by eating lots of food, and their food is stored in the form of blubber. Now, their blubber actually serves a different purpose while they're on land. So let's think about that for a second. Blubber helps keep them warm in the ocean, but when they're on land, it serves a different purpose. I want you to think about that. I'm going to give you a couple hints that might help you guess what blubber is used for on land. So when an elephant seal is in the ocean, It builds up its blubber by eating lots of food, lots and lots of food. It builds up its blubber and it gains a lot of weight while it's in the ocean. When it comes to the beach, when it's ready for its beach vacation, it will arrive to the beach with lots of blubber built up. And then once they're on the beach for their beach vacation, they don't eat at all. They don't eat at all for weeks, even months at a time. So let's brainstorm what you think their blubber might be used for on the beach that might relate to the fact that they don't eat while they're here. Go ahead and raise your hand if you have an idea of what you think that might be. I see some hands raised. Claudia, Addison, Sage, Emmy. Yeah, lots of you have your hands raised. Okay, go ahead and lower your hands. Let's see if we all thought of similar things. Maybe an elephant seal, since it's stored up all its foods that it eats in the form of blubber, maybe they use their blubber on land as a source of energy, a source of food. That might be it. So they come to land with a bunch of blubber, a lot of stored energy, and then they use all that stored energy on the beach. Well, they don't eat at all. They have to survive off what they've stored up. So I'm actually going to show you a picture of what an elephant seal might look like when he arrives on the beach. This is a male elephant seal. When he's arriving to the beach after being out at sea, building up his blubber, this is what he might look like. I'll keep that in mind. And when it's time to leave the beach, so the end of its beach vacation, after he's used a lot of its blubber, this is what he might look like. Wow, look at that difference. Let me go back to that first picture. So, arriving to the beach, leaving the beach. Wow, look how much weight he's lost. He's used a lot of his blubber. So these elephant seals rely on whatever blubber they arrive to the beach with, so it's limited. They have to work really hard to build up that blubber in the ocean so that they're able to survive off of it for a long time on land. And that actually brings up a really important thing for us to consider when we view wildlife. So these elephant seals are relying on a limited amount of energy, right? So you're noticing them on the beach right now, and they're not really doing much, right? They're not moving a whole lot. They're not being lazy. They're saving energy. They're saving energy by not moving because every movement uses some of that limited amount of energy that they have. So every movement has to count. Every movement has to matter. And that's something that we should remember when we're viewing wildlife like this. So I'm actually going to move this camera around for a second. I'm going to show you where I am in relation to these elephant seals. So if you check this out, I'm on a pathway that is above the beach. You can see all those elephant seals in the background. I'm on a pathway that is above the beach. It's not on the beach with the elephant seals. I wonder if I was down on the beach with the elephant seals, do you think maybe that might disturb them? It might bother them, it might stress them out or scare them. Maybe. So, and if they are scared or disturbed or bothered, they probably would want to get away from us, right? So if I was right down there next to them, they might be scared or bothered by me. So they'd want to wiggle their bodies away from me. What would that do? That would use energy. So anything that we do as humans, watching wildlife that might disturb or bother an animal, we might be causing it to use energy that it's trying to save. So whether it's watching something as big as an elephant seal or as small as a rabbit, all these animals are relying on a limited amount of energy, and they want to make movements that are important for them. We shouldn't have to make them move for things we don't have to, right? Let's think of this in a way that we can. Let's say you're saving up money. You're about to take a trip and you're going to save up money to have some spending money on that trip. So raise your hand if you save up money. If you have a piggy bank at home, or if you have a box where you keep your money. Yeah, lots of you save your money. Paige, Megan, Mitchell, Gwen, Luca. Yep, great. Yeah, lots of us save money, right? So imagine we're saving up money to go on a trip. You want to have some spending money. When you're on your trip, say you've saved up $100. You have $100 to last you the whole time that you're there. Now, are you going to be really careless about how you spend your money? Are you going to spend it on whatever you want? Probably not. You're probably going to be really conscious about how you spend your money, right? Everything that you spend money on has to be something that you really, really want, or you really, really need. You don't have a whole lot of money to spend. It's the same thing with these elephant seals. They've saved up their blubber. They've saved up their energy. And every movement that they make has to matter because they're relying on a limited amount of energy. That's the something about wildlife. And if you have your hand raised still, you can go ahead and lower it. Thank you for sharing. All right, so that's what their blubber does for them on land. And I want to point out something really quick. You probably noticed this. What are these guys doing? What's happening here? Looks like he's flipping sand on his back, right? I bet you're probably wondering why he do that. Well, it's kind of related to their blubber. So we know that the elephant seals have their blubber to help keep them warm in the ocean, right? And then when they're on land, it helps them store energy. But they still have a lot of blubber on land, so they're probably kind of warm, right? It'd be like wearing a thick winter coat while it's warm outside. So they are flipping sand on their back to help cool them down. So kind of like they're putting on sunscreen. It's going to help block the sun, and sand is a lot cooler than their bodies are. So by putting sand on their back, they're helping cool them down. So if you notice that they were doing that, good job. Okay. So we talked about how an elephant seal will eat food to help them. What kinds of foods do you think the elephant seals are eating? Well, I bet you're thinking fish. They do eat fish. What else do you think they eat? Raise your hand if you have some ideas about what you think an elephant seal might eat. I bet you're thinking of maybe octopus. You said octopus, you can put your hand down. How about maybe some people think that some people guess that they eat seaweed, which is not really true. They're mostly carnivores, so they don't eat a whole lot of plants. So if you're thinking that, you put your hand down. Maybe they eat crabs. Maybe, probably not. They mostly eat fish, octopus, squid, and sometimes even small sharks or small rays and skates. Interesting. So you eat lots of different foods. You can go ahead and put your hands down. Thank you. Those are all the different things that elephant seals might be eating while they're diving in the deep blue sea looking for food, building up their blubber. So we know what elephant seals hunt for. What might hunt an elephant seal? Who are the elephant seal's predators? Go ahead and brainstorm with someone next to you. Who do you think the elephant seal's predators are? I bet you're thinking sharks, great white sharks. Raise your hand if you thought of a great white shark. Yep. What about a killer whale or an orca? Raise your hand if you were thinking of that. Yep, Carissa was thinking that. Angel was. Missy, Amaya, Vic. You guys are all so smart. Yep, those are the two main predators of an elephant seal, the great white shark and the killer whale or an orca. But I'll tell you what, elephant seals dive a lot deeper and they swim a lot farther from the coast than those predators do. So they're actually able to evade those predators Go ahead and lower your hands. Thank you. The elephant seal also has a different kind of predator. It's probably not one that you were thinking of. So a lot of you are probably thinking big animals like those sharks or killer whales. We have another predator that's kind of small, actually. Have you ever heard of a cookie cutter shark? A cookie cutter shark. Some of you are raising your hands. That's awesome. Go ahead and lower your hands. Thank you. So this is a cookie cutter shark here. And these cookie cutter sharks are actually pretty small. They're only about 1 to 2 feet long. They're kind of the size of some fish. And these cookie cutter sharks, they will take little bites out of an elephant seal's belly. Oh. Now, if you think of how a cookie cutter works, so you have your cookie cutter, you press it into the dough, and you twist it, and you take it out. You have the dough there, right? That's kind of how a cookie cutter shark bites. So they have those small little mouths with those sharp teeth, and they'll take out a chunk of an elephant seal, which sounds pretty intense, right? It probably sounds like it hurts. But it doesn't have too much of an effect on the elephant seals because they have that thick layer of blubber, remember? So they only take a bite out of their blubber, and it doesn't affect them too badly. But sometimes we see elephant seals on the beach with cookie cutter shark bite scars. We can see scars from these cookie cutter sharks. So you might notice all these little circular marks, these little indentations here. Those are all cookie cutter shark bite scars. Wow. We can see a lot of them on our beaches with these scars. I don't think there's any on the beach right now that have their bellies up that we can see. Otherwise, I would show you. But we do see a lot of them with these scars. Okay, so we talked about their life in the ocean, how they're looking for food and evading their predators. What about their life on land? So remember, these elephant seals come to land 2 times a year for short amounts of time for very special reasons. They do things on land that they can't do while they're in the ocean. And one of those things is actually what's happening right now with these elephant seals. It's something called molting. Raise your hand if you know what molting means. Or maybe you've heard of another animal that might molt. Yep, lots of you have heard of the word molting before. Tiara has, Melanie, Maya, Jace, that's great. Yep, go ahead and lower your hands, thank you. So molting means to shed. Molting means to shed. And these elephant seals shed or molt in a very special way. So all mammals shed in one way or another. We shed, kind of, our hair will fall out. If you have a dog or a cat at home, they probably shed too. But their hair kind of falls off a little bit at a time, right? Hairs out on your bed. It doesn't all fall off at once, right? Wow, these elephant seals, their fur or their hair all falls off in a very short period of time. And let me show you a photo of what an elephant seal looks like up close while it's molting. While it is molting, it might look like this. Check that out. So you can see that brown fur that's kind of peeling off or coming off. It just falls off of his body and reveals that grayish fur underneath. So this is an elephant seal molting. And in fact, it's so dramatic since all of it comes off at once. It's called a catastrophic molt. It's all of its fur, that whole layer will come off in a very short period of time. And bonus points, you noticed cookie cutter shark bite scars. All right, so that's what an elephant seal might look like while it is molting. These elephant seals on the beach here are molting. It might be kind of hard to tell. I'm going to point out that one right there. You can see it's kind of halfway done. It's got the new fur here, the grayish fur. It still has that brown fur kind of falling off there. All these elephant seals are molting at different rates, different times. And I'm going to show you actually what their molt looks like up close, because this stuff just falls off onto the beach during molting season. So this is elephant seal molt. Now, if you look at it, it's pretty, the hairs are pretty short, and believe it or not, it's actually kind of coarse. It's rough. It's not soft like your cat or your dog's fur. It kind of feels like Velcro. This is close up that elephant seal molt, that fur that covers almost their whole bodies. Awesome. So molting season, the time that we're in right now, is one of the reasons why these elephant seals will come to the beach. They come to the beach for another reason, and it's usually during winter. They come for breeding season or birthing season, which means that we get a lot of pregnant female elephant seals that come to the beach and they give birth to a pup. A baby elephant seal is called a pup. How cute is that? So these pups, the mother will give birth to one pup a year, and we'll see them all over the beach. You'll notice that it has a nice shiny black fur coat. That makes them really easy to spot on the beach because they're all over the place during winter. And you might notice that this pup, this baby elephant seal, doesn't have a whole lot of blubber. So how do they get blubber? Well, they will build up their blubber, they'll build up their fat by drinking their mom's milk. So they drink their mom's milk, and in fact, that milk has a whole lot of fat. It's got so much fat that during the time that they're drinking their milk, which is about a month, so they're drinking the milk for about a month, they will triple their weight. So this might be what an elephant seal pup might look like after it's drank a whole lot of milk. Here's a pup right here. Look how chunky that guy is now. Huh? He's built up its fat, built up its blubber after drinking its mother's milk for about a month. Now the mother and the pup have a very interesting relationship. So the mother is super, super caring. She's protective of her pup. She feeds it milk for a month. But believe it or not, the mother, after it's done nursing, done feeding its pup milk, it will actually leave the pup on the beach by itself. It'll leave the pup on the beach by itself and go out to the ocean because she is exhausted. She's been using her blubber to feed not only her, but also her pup. She has to go back out to sea. It's time for her to get more food. And the pup will stay on the beach with all the other pups. It sounds kind of sad that they get left, but they get to hang out with all the other pups on the beach, and they will learn how to swim with each other. And eventually it'll be time for them to go out to the ocean themselves. All right, so those are the two main reasons why an elephant seal might come to the beach: to molt and to give birth. And I want to point out something about this place here. So the place that I'm at is something called a rookery. A rookery, and that might be a new word for some of you. So if you think about the word rookery, all it means is that it's a safe place. It's a safe place for an animal to live and give birth. A safe place for an animal to live and give birth. So what do you think makes this place safe for an elephant seal? What might make it safe? Go ahead and brainstorm what you might think makes a beach safe for an elephant seal, and then you can raise your hand when you've thought of something. There might be a lot of different reasons a place might be safe for an elephant seal. See, Russell has raised his hand. Chantel. Riley. Yeah, lots of you raise your hand. So let's see what ideas you might come up with. Maybe a safe place for an elephant seal means that they have a lot of space. Yeah, lots of space. They've got a wide area of sandy beach so that they have a lot of space to do their thing, to molt, to give birth. Go ahead and lower your hands. Thank you. Maybe some of you thought, I noticed that there's no people on the beach. Yeah, and remember how I showed you before where I am? I'm behind the fence, overlooking the beach. I'm not on the beach with them. So These elephant seals, they need a space where they don't have a lot of human activity. Remember, that might disturb them or bother them, right? So a place that is a designated safe area for these seals. Maybe you might have also said that something that makes a beach safe is that it doesn't have pollution or trash or waste, litter. That's true too. Did anyone think of that? Go ahead and raise your hand if you were thinking of that too. Awesome, you guys are so smart. Yes, an elephant seal definitely would not like to see a beach that is filled with trash or waste. And that's not just true for elephant seals, that's true for lots of other animals. No animal is going to want to see litter or waste in its home, in its habitat, whether it's an animal in the ocean, on the beach, somewhere in the forest, in the desert, anywhere. So that's why it's really important for us to keep in mind how we can limit or minimize the amount of trash that we produce, or be really conscious about where our trash ends up. So we want to make sure we throw away our trash in the trash can or in the recycle bin, because if not, it might end up outside somewhere and get washed away by rain or wind and end up somewhere outside in the ocean that might disturb an animal's habitat. We can also try to reduce the amount of trash that we have. So I bet you know a lot of different ways to store, reuse, or recycle, the 3 R's. I want that to be your challenge today. I want to challenge you to think of ways that you can reduce, reuse, or recycle as much as you can every day in order to help limit the amount of waste that might end up in our outdoor spaces. And it's especially important to think about that on Earth Day today. And I'll give you some ideas. Some of these things you might already be doing. So everyone go ahead and lower your hands for a second. Okay. Now go ahead and raise your hand if you use a reusable water bottle. Who uses a reusable water bottle? Whoa, so many of you. Sarah does, Gabriella does, David, Danny, Josue. Wow, so many of you use a reusable water bottle. That's awesome. That totally helps because that limits the amount of plastic water bottles that might be used. What about, okay, go ahead and lower your hands. What about when you and your family go to the grocery store safely? Do any of you bring your own bags to the grocery store? Go ahead and raise your hand. I'm going to switch this camera back around. Raise your hand if you use reusable bags or you bring your own bags. Wow, so many of you. I see lots and lots of names here. Juliet and Catherine, Monique. Wow, lots of you. Great job, everybody. If you raise your hand for any of those things, go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back. That's so great. Go ahead and lower your hand. Those are all ways that you can reduce, reuse, or recycle things in order to limit what ends up in our outdoor spaces. So I want you to think about today, after this program, challenge yourself to think about ways that you can help reduce the amount of waste that you use. I hope you learned something new today. Thank you for joining me. A couple more things before we end. So I mentioned at the beginning that I'm going to invite you all to join me in an art project. So if you learned something new about elephant seals today, I want to invite you to draw a picture of it. Draw a picture of it on a piece of paper. You can draw whatever you want. You don't even have to draw it. You could write a story. You could make a graphic organizer, a thinking map, anything like that. I'll show you what I did. So I have Monica's elephant seal here. I chose to draw a male elephant seal, so you can see it's got its large nose. I thought it was cool that they have a chest shield, so I drew that. I also thought it was cool how they can get cookie cutter shark bite scars, so I drew those on its belly. And I remembered that they molt, so I drew some patches of fur on its body. Now I want you to draw your own picture of an elephant seal, and I want to see it. Everyone at state parks wants to see it. So when you're done drawing your picture, have your parents take a picture of it, and they can share it to our social media pages. So you can follow the Ports program on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can tag them at Ports program, and we want to hashtag it Ports Fan Art. Ports Fan Art. That's how we're going to be able to see your photos. You can also tag our park, Hearst Simeon State Park, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Hearst Simeon State Park. And we want to see your art. We want to hear about it. Also, if you wrote down any questions on your piece of paper, anything that you want to share with us, you can take a picture of that too and tag us, hashtag it Porch Fan Art. We want to see. Also, since today is Earth Day, there are some really special activities happening. So if your parents follow the California State Parks Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter pages, we have fun stuff going on all day until 5 o'clock. There's challenges, activities, games, all related to Earth Day and how you can be an awesome Earth steward. So check those out if you're interested. But I want to say thank you so much for letting me join you today. I hope you learned something new, and maybe you'll be able to visit these elephant seals one day yourself. Also, one last thing, we have a live camera that's at the beach where the elephant seals are. So if you're at home and you're bored and you want to know what's going on with the elephant seals today, you can search or get your parents to help you on the California State Parks website, elephant seal live camera. We have one here that is looking at the beach all day, every day. So you can look at it whenever you want. Hopefully one day we'll be able to see you in the park. I hope everyone stays safe and healthy. Make sure to show us your pictures, your art, and thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.